Welcome back. It is Tuesday, September 5th, and the MLB. Our three favorite picks are on. The way it's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's recap yesterday. A solid 3-1 day, bouncing back from a bad Sunday. Let's talk about the Cubs' first five money line, a 2-unit winner. No sweat. They win 1-0. The first five will take that. The Royals team total over 2.5 in the first five was the definition of a no sweat. They scored 12 runs in the first 5 innings. Another no sweat bet. We had the Astros and Rangers over 9.5. That cashed in the 6th inning. I think 19 runs total scored. Our only loss was our Dimers hit parlay. 2 of the hitters got it done. 1 of them did not. But hey, if we have 3 picks today, if we go 3-0, we're giving away $100 to one person that is subscribed to the channel and comments down below. That's all you got to do, and we'll give away $100 if we go 3-0. But like I said, Dimers parlay missed by one guy yesterday. His name was Nico Horner, and I think that sets up perfectly for your first pick, Logan. What's it going to be?
Yeah, Nico Horner, man. What were you doing yesterday? That's okay. He's getting our coin back today. I'm taking a same game parlay involving Nico Horner of the Cubs to record a hit and the over 9.5 in the Giants Cubs game. Plus 100 odds on DraftKings, currently your best value for the same game parlay. You know what? Whenever I see a total at Wrigley set sky high to like 11, this isn't Coors Field. This is Wrigley, right? I immediately, my radar goes up and I just take the over. No questions asked. Why? Because I've been on the wrong side. I've been like, oh, that number's too high. I'll take the under. Yeah, no, then that got like 15 runs on me. I know I've bet Wrigley games enough to know how the totals usually work in that stadium. So when they set it high, it's for a reason. But let's talk about the same game parlay with Nico Horner. Yesterday we needed him to be a hero. He came up 0, but today he will come up clutch. He did go hitless yesterday. Screwed our parlay of the day. But on the season, Nico Horner hitting 290 at home. He's almost hitting 300 at home this year. So when he goes hitless, you just play the law of averages game. You say next game, he's probably due. Because look at Nico has 7 hits in his last 9 home games. He's a really good hitter at home. He knows how to hit the dimensions of Wrigley. And since July 20th, he's only had 2 series at home where he's had back-to-back hitless games. So once again, I mean, the evidence is there. And he's going to face, to start the game, Ryan Walker. Nico's 2 for 3, batting .667 against Ryan Walker. He's going to be the opener for the Giants, so he will see him, and he will hopefully be able to get a hit versus him. First at bat, that would be pretty cool, Nico. Now let's talk about the full game over 9.5. Yes, this is the alt total. The normal total is set to like 11. So, if you like it at obviously 9.5, you probably, might take it at 11 too. I just like the odds in the same game parlay a little bit better. I just think if we can lower the number down a little bit and just ask one of the Cubs' best hitters, to get a hit, that's probably the way we want to do this. We look at, obviously I mentioned the total set high. I think it's obviously high for a reason because the winds are blowing out at Wrigley. Again, you don't take an under when the winds are blowing out because any deep line drive usually carries right over the fence. So we'll hope those conditions hold up for us today. Now Kyle Hendricks is starting for the Cubs, the professor. 4.31 ERA and a 1.29 whip at home. His opponent's batting average does jump from 213 on the road to 274 at home. I've always mentioned this. Kyle Hendricks is not that great at pitching at Wrigley. If he's on the road, he's usually more in his element. Just kind of weird reverse splits there. Kyle Hendricks did just see the Giants. He went 8 innings pitched, 0 earned runs earlier last time he faced them. I don't expect the Giants team to get cooked again. I expected their hitters to be able to make adjustments, though. Yesterday, they just got absolutely cooked by Justin Steele. Hendricks has been great as of late, but I can remember back to early August when he had a home run problem. He was giving up home runs left and right. I mean, I remember that Braves game where he just absolutely hosted batting practice. So sometimes those games happen for him. He just isn't hitting his locations. And I could see that against the Giants team that I think is a sleeping giant, pun intended. Offensively, they look terrible. They're only hitting .203 versus righties so far in September, and they only scored 3 runs in their last 3 games. That is the definition of due in baseball, and I'll go ahead and take my chances that they could get some hits and runs up on Kyle Hendricks. I just think ranking 14th on the road, I have confidence their hitters can capitalize on Hendricks' mistakes. The fact that they're 14th in runs on the road just kind of tells you right there that the offense is capable. They're a bit about middle of the pack. Yes, they can be streaky at times, but I just think at any given moment they're liable for 5-6 runs in this game, and I think that's what we get today. Now, who's starting for the Giants? It's scheduled to be Ryan Walker. Of course, the Giants can tinker with their bullpen all they want. 2.16 ERA and a 1.24 whip. This will be a bullpen game for the Giants. Walker's probably going to open this game. He might not even go the full inning. We've seen him sometimes go only 2/3 of an inning. but he will open the game, and it will likely be Junis or Mania behind him. I hate trying to forecast who's going to be behind him, but I think it's going to be those two. Mania, if we look at Sean Mania, I would really like it to be him. 5.59 ERA in his last 3 games. Or it could be Junis, 2.57 ERA in his last 3 games. Mania, I think, is actually probably going to be the option, just because normally when the Giants do these bullpen games, Mania kind of he's the bulk guy. He usually eats up the innings in the middle of the game. And he would also provide the Cubs a lefty look, because sometimes the Cubs struggle versus lefties this year. They've been up and down. But the Cubs, we know them. They're hitting 276 in their last 3 games, and their offense at Wrigley is great. They're 6th in runs, 9th in hits at home, something I mentioned yesterday. They get the timely hitting when you need it at Wrigley, and I think that's what they once again get today. I don't care really which Giants bullpen arm they're facing. Look at it over the last 2 weeks. Cubs 7th in bullpen ERA, Giants 9th in bullpen ERA. Yeah, the 2 top 10 bullpens, but guys, there's no margin for error for all of these pitchers today when the ball is carrying like it is out of Wrigley today. I think the weather being on our side, and I think 2 very capable offenses take this over the all total of 9.5. Again, I bet it down from the 11. If you're looking at your book and you're like, I don't see 9.5, well, you're going to have to go to the all totals to find that one. But I really do like that same game parlay. I think it stands a really good chance of cashing. But Austin, what are you going with today?
Yeah, Logan, you touched on it. I really love the play. And we would have taken the regular game over if it wasn't at 11. Then you're asking for 12 runs or a push. I think this is a good way to do it. Nico's going to get us a hit, hopefully in that first inning, and then hopefully we see some runs scored. You talked about the Giants. Only one run scored the last 3 games. They're definitely due. They're not that bad of an offense. They're not great, but they're not that bad. They'll get it going today. But for my plays, I got 2 of them. We're going to go right into one, and it's going to be the guy that I'm rocking his jersey, and on the thumbnail, his name's Aaron Judge. We're taking him over 1.5 bases, -110 on DraftKings. Now, if you're feeling lucky, take yourself Judge to hit a home run, because that's probably what we're going to need to cash this bet. However, it's not great odds. I think plus 200 on FanDuel. Saw some books that like plus 150, plus 170. So they're thinking that Judge, I mean, that's one of the worst odds I've seen all year long. I think he's going to get one out of the ballpark today, and I love this matchup for Judge today. Now, you look at his matchup, and you look at how he's done this year. He's batting 261 on the year with 31 homers. Obviously, he's missed a lot of games. He's only hitting 219 at home compared to 303 on the road. He's batting 258 versus right-handed pitchers, which he'll face one today. Now, the home road splits are very odd. I don't necessarily know if that's just I don't think Judge is spooked from hitting at home, because last year he was hitting 308 and 313 on home and road. So I think he's due some positive regression at home. Maybe the ball just hasn't been falling in the right gaps, or maybe he's just not finding the right seams for the ball. Either way, I think that batting average at home is going to climb up, because we know how talented Judge is. You don't just hit 303 on the road and just stink it up at home. That's very weird splits for a guy like Judge. And like I said, going to face a right-handed pitcher in Alex Faedo today. Now, you look at Faedo, he's been struggling against right-handed batters. A 266 batting average allowed to righties this year compared to only 143 to lefties. He has identical, he's seen about the same number of lefties and righties, but clearly struggling to miss bats for the right-handed batters, which makes me think that his fastball isn't really there, and then his second pitch, we'll talk about in a second, his slider, isn't getting into the right spots. It's hanging in the zone. I think Judge will be able to do something with it. 29 hits allowed to right-handed batters, 14 of them were for extra base hits. Obviously, Judge is probably going to need an extra base hit here today, whether it's a double or a home run. If he hits a triple, I'll give one of you the jersey off my back, because I would be very surprised if Judge got a triple. It just is not what he does. But either way, righties, when they make contact first time, are doing good things, and we know when Judge makes contact, the ball can go flying out of the stadium. We've seen this Faedo, like we talked about, 2 pitches. Mainly 2. He's going to throw a change up about 9% of the time, but 47% four seam, 44% slider. You look at Judge's expected batting average plus his hard hit percentage, 362 versus the four seamer with a 73% hard hit percentage, and 285 versus the slider with a 61% hard hit percentage. Look, I think Judge is going to get a hold of one today. It's whether or not we can get it out of the ballpark. And in Yankee Stadium with favorable hitting dimensions, I think he's got a good chance. And we've talked about Faedo before. This is a guy that struggles to get those swings and misses, especially against right-handed batters. 24th percentile in whiff percentage, 31st in K percentage, and he's also actually 62nd in walk percentage. So that's always a Judge, thing. He could go out there and they could pitch around him. That could happen. Judge doesn't see a lot of at-bats today, but either way, I think they will pitch to Judge as well. I think Judge, we've talked about him, does have a tendency to strike out. He has like a 30% K rate this year. Obviously not great, but we just talked about Faedo and his splits, his K percentage, not been able to get those swings and misses, especially to righties. I think Judge gets a hold of one. We'll take his over 1.5 bases at -110. I play probably to around -120, -125. I think Judge hits a home run today. Let's hope he gets that done. Now, for my other pick, though, I'm going to go to a similar play that we took from yesterday. Yesterday, we had the Royals in their first 5 team total. Easy, no sweat bet. They got that, I think, done in the third inning. Ended up pouring down in the fifth. We're going to the Mariners, though, today, taking their team total over 2.5 in the first 5, minus 115 on PointsBet. Now, we talked about PointsBet yesterday where you can get that cool fan jersey promo. If you want to sign up, just go read the description of yesterday's video. It's also going to be available on DraftKings as well. My FanDuel people out there, I'll give you my pivot, which is what I would play. And it smacked easily yesterday. Normally, when the pivot hits, when my play hits, the pivot normally hits more often than not. My FanDuel pivot will be a first 5 same-game parlay. So you go to the first 5 tab. I take the Mariners plus 1.5 on the run line and take the over 3.5 in the first 5 innings, which is minus 135 or so, a little bit juiced. However, I'd rather take the 3.5 than the 4.5 because there's a good chance, if the Mariners do score 3 runs, then probably asking Bryce Miller to go up just 1 run. I think he'll certainly do that. Or see the Mariners score 12 runs like they did, like we saw with the Royals yesterday. But either way, let's talk about who's going to start for the Reds today, who they're going up against. It's going to be Connor Phillips. He will make his MLB debut for the Reds. They had to call up a couple guys because several guys were put on the COVID-19 list, but either way, you look at him in AAA, where he just was. He posted a 4.69 ERA and a 1.56 WHIP. He had a 24.2% K percentage and a 16.9% walk percentage. Yeah, it's not great. You look at his K percentage in AA, 39.1%. And then it dropped down very bad. That makes me think, well, he had bad competition in AA, started to see good competition in AAA, it was very erratic, could not find the zone, couldn't get the swings and misses. And now I don't know what's going to happen when he gets into the MLB, when obviously these are the best of the best. And while it is clear that the Mariners do have some strikeout guys on that lineup, he wasn't able to get it done against AAA guys. I just don't see him being able to get it done against the Mariners team that we know is capable of putting up 3 runs and putting them up in a hurry. We've seen that over the last couple weeks and months when we've seen them climb the standings in the AL West. I think they're going to be able to get us 3 runs here in the first 5. And you look at over the last 2 weeks, the Mariners have been a great team against right-handed pitchers. 15th best batting average, not great, but what we like to see, 8th highest walk percentage, 6th highest OPS, 5th highest WRC plus first right-handed pitchers. Now you're putting them in Great American Ballpark, one of the most hitter-friendly conditions too, against an erratic pitcher that is seemingly struggling to find the zone. And maybe if he's struggling to find the zones, he's just going to start throwing fastballs down the middle, which is not a great recipe for success when you're looking at the hitting conditions. Plus 30% home runs, plus 17% runs. I think this is going to be a hard one for Connor Phillips in his MLB debut, starting in Great American Ballpark. He's going to have his work cut out for him. If he pitches a gem, which could happen, it's a guy making his first start. You don't have much film to watch on him. And then maybe he does that. But the books are seeing his earned runs prop sitting at 2.5, minus 165, minus 170 on the over. And I doubt he goes 5 innings pitched here, given he's a rookie in his debut. So they think he gives up 3 runs, probably likely in the first 5 innings. Hopefully the Mariners make it quick and easy for us, like the Royals did yesterday. But I'll take the Mariners. Team total over 2.5 in the first 5, minus 115 on PointsBet. I think it was minus 120 on DraftKings. I'd play it up to right around minus 140. Could get more juiced as the day goes on, so get it locked in early. But Logan, any final thoughts before we sign out of here?
We had a great day yesterday. Let's continue that momentum in today. Let's go 3-0 and hopefully give away that $100.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said at the top of the show, we go 3-0 on these 3 picks. We're giving away $100 to one person that comments down below and subscribe to the channel. 100% free. NFL football starting soon. We'll have our video posted yesterday or tomorrow for Thursday night football. Let's have a great Tuesday. No Dinger Tuesday picks today because FanDuel hates us and got rid of the promo. Although if you want to pick some home run guys, I wouldn't blame you if you go into the Cubs game because the wind should be blowing out there. But either way, we'll see you guys back in on Wednesday. Hopefully giving away $100. We'll see you guys then. Peace.